Hello, you fool, I love you. Come on, join the joyride. Now that I think of it, that is a missed opportunity that they should have definitely used in this movie. No, I'm not talking about the Roxette single. I am talking about the movie Joyride that is hitting theaters this week. It's from director Adele Lim. Those of you who saw Crazy Rich Asians should be familiar with her work. But I'm going to tell you right now, I think this movie is far superior to that movie, even though I've never seen it. What? What is he talking about? Just keep watching and I'll explain. So it's interesting because not that long ago, I did a review and talked about the movie No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. And the discussion that I had was, where are we with R-rated comedies? And I feel like they have all but disappeared from cinemas and just in the lexicon of movie-going audiences, right? No one goes to theaters to watch comedies that much anymore. And I think it's a shame because you had that movie, but now you have this movie, Joyride. And I honestly feel that this is probably gonna be the best comedy of 2023. And quite possibly the funniest movie I've seen in this current decade that we're in right now. And you know what? Most of you will probably never watch it. Or more specifically, many of you probably won't go out to the theaters to go watch it. Why? Well, there could be many reasons. Maybe comedies are not your thing. Maybe now you are accustomed to watching comedies at home. And why do you have to spend an enormous amount of money to buy a ticket, go to the theater, buy popcorn and drinks and soda and all that stuff, and spend all that money to watch a comedy rather than enjoying it from the comfort of your own home? Or maybe you see the trailer to this and you're thinking like, oh, this is a little bit too raunchy for my liking. Or you see it's a bunch of women and you're like, I'm not gonna go out and watch a movie with a bunch of women doing crazy stuff. Plus add a layer that there are a bunch of Asian women. Who wants to see a movie with a bunch of Asian women doing crazy stuff? Well, with the exception of some of you weebs out there, and I know your little fetishes and all that stuff like that. But I kid, kinda. But I think if you look at current box office right now and the things that we're seeing so far during this summer, people are being very selective with what they decide to go to the movies and go watch. And unfortunately, when it comes to R-rated comedies, that is not top priority like it used to be back in the day. Like I said, it's a little unfortunate because I truly feel this movie deserves your attention and deserves your time to go out in the theaters to go watch. In Joyride, Audrey's business trip to Asia goes sideways. She enlists the help of Lolo, her childhood best friend, Kat, a college friend, and Deadeye, Lolo's eccentric cousin. Their epic, no-holds-barred experience becomes a journey of bonding, friendship, belonging, and wild debauchery that reveals the universal truth of what it means to know and love who you are. There are so many things about this movie that I really enjoy. Maybe I'm also a little biased because I am part Asian, but they do poke fun at a lot of Asian tropes, a lot of Asian culture stuff that if you're familiar with that, then you could laugh at the things that they are making fun of and that they reference to. But let's take the Asian thing out of it. For me, these four women on screen have the best chemistry I've seen in quite a while. Admittingly, I am not very familiar with most of these actresses, with the exception of Stephanie Hsu, who you probably recognize her from Everything Everywhere All at Once. She did a little cameo in Shang-Chi, and she's done other roles here and there, and I think this movie really displays her comedic talents, but everyone else was so hilarious and so good together. Ashley Park has been around for a while, but you would only know her if you are familiar with a lot of her TV work and her streaming work, which I am not. So it was quite a revelation to me to really see what she is capable of. And I should have known that she was special when I heard Florence Pugh mention that she is the one person she would love to collaborate with.
I'd love to have Ashley Park on my cooking show because I think it would be pure hectic mania, and I think that is to be hysterical, and I don't know if she can cook, so that would be even funnier.
But watching this movie, I really feel like I can watch the adventures of these four ladies for a long time. Like, I could just keep watching them doing all this crazy stuff together, and that's just how enjoyable the movie was for me. If you were to ask me, like, what would I compare this to? Well, the way I looked at it and the way it kind of hit me, it kind of reminded me of if you took movies like The Hangover and Bridesmaids, which had very ensemble-centric casts, usually friends, going on an adventure together, but more of like a road trip. So if you add movies from back in the 90s like Road Trip or Euro Trip is actually a better example. If you combine those movies together, then that's essentially what you get here with Joyride. And the thing that makes this comedy work so well is that it is very deliciously horny. It is very raunchy, but at the same time, they are very unapologetic about everything that they poke fun at, which really makes it work for me. And it's refreshing to feel and see them take a lot of these risks in poking fun at, things that we usually tend to see in everyday life, or the things that we think about or people think about and talk about, and actually seeing it play through. And plus, it's nice to see, instead of guys going through these kinds of things, it's women that are going through these things. And, it kind of helps remind us that, women can be pretty damn raunchy too. But at the core here, it's more about the bonding experience between these women, with Ashley Park being kind of the center of that, because she in herself plays a very interesting character who is in the middle of kind of like discovering who she really is and kind of getting in touch with her cultural roots. So seeing that journey was actually very touching and very relatable, especially for someone who, grew up around parents who are immigrants and a very rich ethnic background. I grew up in America. I grew up here in New York. So there are moments in my life where I tried myself to get in touch with my cultural background and all that. So it's a lot of things that I can truly relate to. So if you're in a situation like that, or if you grew up in that same type of way, there's a lot of moments in this movie that you could totally relate to. Now, I did say before that this was something that I thought was a bit more superior than Crazy Rich Asians, and I'm saying that for a movie that I've never seen. But the reason why I decided not to ever watch that movie is because, although I appreciate the fact that it is a movie that talks about Asian culture and has Asian representation, I didn't like the fact that they had to play around with the whole money aspect of things. I saw it as kind of like the importance of wealth and how it plays within certain cultures and all that, which is a very strong stereotype when it comes to certain Asian cultures about how they perceive money and wealth and riches and all that stuff like that. Now, I could be totally off base here, and maybe the movie has nothing to do with any of that stuff, but based on the trailers and all that stuff that I saw, that was something that kind of turned me off. So I decided not to see that. However, with this movie, it didn't really go into all of those things. I saw this more as just like a buddy movie, as a girls trip type of movie, and all the things that they go through on this adventure together while still maintaining ties to their own cultural backgrounds. So many of those aspects I very much was interested in seeing how it all played out, and I'm glad that I gave this movie a chance, because again, I laughed so hard throughout this movie. I think I was laughing at 90% of the movie. There were a lot of little surprises here and there too, and the story itself has an interesting twist as well, which I thought was pretty brilliant and clever in how they handled it. So it was a movie that also kept you on your toes as you're laughing at all the exploits and adventures that these girls are going on. But I do stand very firm when I say this. It is not going to do well in theaters, and that is a shame. I think it deserves people to go out and check out this movie, but I totally get it too. I understand why movies like this don't do well anymore today. And maybe most of you will just wait for this to come on streaming and you check it out when that happens. And if that's the case, then I do implore you to keep an eye out for when this movie is available for streaming, because it is definitely worth your time. Now, I don't know what the future holds for this group of females here, but I do hope they somehow find a way to continue their adventures later on. But if anything, it definitely put a lot of these comedians and actresses on my radar, and now I'm looking forward to seeing what else they can do if it's outside of this realm of this movie. With all that being said, at the end of the day, I gave this 5 stars. I gave this a perfect rating on Letterboxd, and of course I liked it. Again, it surprised surprised me on how funny I thought this movie was, and I really could watch these women all day if I had a chance to. It's been a long time since I laughed this much in the theaters, and I really do feel and stand by the fact that I do feel like this will end up being the funniest movie of the year. So I'm very curious as to what others out there think of this movie when it comes out. So that's where all of you come in, because like I always say, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter at all what I think, at least not all the time. What matters most is what all of you think. Is Joyride the type of movie you're looking forward to watching when it hits theaters? Or like I said before, is this the type of movie you'd rather wait to hit streaming and you'll watch it from the comfort of your own home? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. If you haven't done so yet, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're brand new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see more of this type of content. And for those of you who are looking to further help support this channel and help this channel grow, definitely check out the stuff we have listed in the description. There's a bunch of affiliates there. You can also check out the podcast channel through your podcast platform of choice, and you can show your support by following us on there as well. But that's going to be it for me for now. Until next time, stay cool, stay classy, stay safe. Catch you all in the next one. All right, peace out, y'all.